Hey everybody, welcome back to a series of conversations we're having right now, calling them meet and greet conversations. So the heart behind this is I'm the new guy, Matt Dawkins, and I've been invited into the fold, into the fellowship of Evangel Fellowship International. And the first thing I wanted to do is embody one of Stephen Covey's values, and that is to seek first to understand, then to be understood. So I'm on a journey of understanding. And in the process, I'm getting to know some of the great leaders of Evangel Fellowship. And today we're sitting down with Bill Knight, and he's on the executive board. We're going to get to know him a little bit. Bill, how you doing this afternoon?
Good. I'm doing good. Hope everybody else is.
Yeah. So I have two things that I was told. Hey, if you're going to talk to Bill, talk about these two things. And I know there's a story, but Jeremy Vest, who's at Destiny City Church, was just sharing with me. I said, tell me something about Bill. He said, well, I'll tell you this. When our church was getting started and we needed chairs, Bill didn't hesitate to step up and made sure we had chairs in our center. I think that's incredible. And Debbie, we all know Debbie. She'll be on one of these soon. Sister Debbie, she will be. She said, you got to ask him about Nicaragua. So
Yeah.
let's start with just a snapshot. Bill, tell me who you are, what you do, and tell me a little bit about family as well, if you don't mind.
Okay. Of course, I am Bill Knight, and I actually from Lancaster, South Carolina. Still live there. I drive about 45 minutes to come to the church in Matthews, and I been a Christian since 1974, my 50th year, and got saved at 18, and been a great journey. I was a musician and singer, and just got into Christian coffee houses back then, we called them, and we sang and traveled and sang, and and I started leading worship. I led worship for like 35 years, and until I turned it over to someone here. Actually, my son now is our worship leader, and my family. We have it's four. I have three siblings, two girls and two sisters and a brother, and then my dad, who's a little bit sick right now, but he turned 94 in July. So, and he's at home. That's good. um, but and my wife is from Lancaster also, and we have been married 43 years, and she been with me wherever I wanted to go. So I took her to Virginia, which we didn't know it was a God thing. It was just for a job with an engineering firm, and God put me in a church that set me for what I'm doing now, and which I'm now the senior pastor at Image Church in Matthews, North Carolina. And I started out. I helped found the church in 1996, and became in 99. I went full time, joined EFI in 99, became full time. I was administrator, worship leader, and associate. So, and then in 2003, I was set in as a senior pastor, and been doing that ever since. And we have a successful preschool here. We have around 80 kids in it most of the time, and
Wow.
God's put us here in a southern part of Charlotte, and He's blessing us.
That's amazing.
It's a good trip.
Growing up in Hartsville, South Carolina,
Oh yeah.
we Lancaster was a pretty common team for us to either play against at a fall kickoff or to wrestling. I wrestled as well, so I got to went up against Lancaster quite a few times. But that takes me back for sure. I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina now, so I'm in between Conway and Myrtle Beach. But tell me, you brought it up, and this is I feel like one of the best ways to get to know somebody is to know their faith story. And so you mentioned you got saved at 18. Take me back to 18.
I was actually 17 going. I got saved in January and turned 18 in May. I was raised in church, raised in the Southern Baptist Church, we went to church every Sunday, but like a lot of things I strayed, and won't go into the details of where I strayed to. It wasn't great, and got in, played in some little bands around. In January of 74, accepted Christ and gave my whole life to him then. I turned 18 in May of that year. I before that time, like I said, I was raised in church. I was raised in a Southern Baptist church, had a good background, had great parents, went to church all the time. But just, in the 70s, it was crazy. And I was what you call a redneck hippie. So I don't know if you know what that is, but that's what I was pretty much, a country boy, and got into all kinds of stuff. I was into racing and all that. And anyway, I into music, and I accepted Christ 3 days after I came back from a Grand Funk Railroad concert. And they were one of my favorite groups. Got to see them. Had a horrible night. Just pulled beside the road in my pickup truck and just cried out to God and gave my heart totally to him. And I was saved then, and hadn't turned back ever since then. And, God did some great things in my life, which brought me, to where I've got into help start a church that was, jeans and T-shirts, a far cry from everything else that was around. And my family, great family, they all loved me. They didn't understand me at that point, what I was doing and why. But God brought me to a great point in my life. And, hopefully I've been a witness to them over the years. But it's been an exciting trip with the Lord, going through. I love God. I love mission work. We do mission work, and that's one of our big things that we do. God's blessed.
Because I know that's, like I said, Debbie said, you got to ask Bill about Nicaragua.
Yeah.
How you guys got connected to Nicaragua, and what does that relationship look like now?
Okay. I'll just go back and say my first mission trip was in 1987, and I went to Africa and stayed in the jungle for 2 weeks. And the guy that went with me swore he would never go back. He kissed the ground when we got back to America, gave me his passport, said, "Burn it, I'll never leave this country again." But just to make that story a little short, the last 2 years he's been in Nicaragua with me. But it was a rough time. We were in the jungle. It was a long story, but it was rough.
Okay.
One of the things is we woke up in the morning with blood all over our sheets from mosquito bites. That was one of the great things. And but anyway, in Nicaragua, our former pastor got involved in Nicaragua through the Bagwells, and who are part of EFI, and got involved with that. And I never went. I stayed back and took care of the church until he left. And then I went my first mission trip in 2003 to Nicaragua, and God just married us. And I feel like that's my second country. I've been probably around 35 times since then. We go every year. Now we're going twice. We went twice a year, then we cut back to once. We're going twice a year. We do a pastors' conferences in March and April, and then in July we do construction. And we've helped start and build about 7 churches, built houses, and this past year we had 14 people that went, and it was awesome. And I know you put that out on the video you did with us from our testimonies. And we ministered to 550 kids, and as we can figure, at least 150 came up to accept Christ during that time. So that's awesome. And we've got great friends down there. We go down there and we travel to different places in the country, and God's given us grace there for sure. And our people are always excited to go. This year we had the biggest budget we've ever had, like double, and within 4 weeks it came in. We just put it out there. I'm not big on doing fundraisers. They take a lot of time. I believe in asking people, and God hits their heart, and they give. And that's what we've always done, and making plans for next year.
That is something that Debbie mentioned as well. She said that it's just amazing. It's obviously a God thing that
Amen.
Bill Knight and the teams are in Nicaragua because the Lord is constantly miraculously providing for them to go. You know, the money
Amen.
that they need, God make sure they have it. And so I think about the thing that I fell in love with first was this picture in my head of relationally connected for global impact. And I thought that not only does God want us to be connected, not only does he want us to be strong together, but he wants our strength to have purpose. He doesn't just strengthen us to
Right.
be good friends. He strengthens us to go, like he said, like Jesus said to the disciples, you're going to be my witnesses in Jerusalem and Judea and Samaria and to the ends of the earth. And through the fellowship, and now I'm getting to I feel like my full-time job, if you will, is just to celebrate the stories of churches and missionaries that are going to the ends of the earth. Yeah, tons of work being done here in the States where we are, right? But we get to celebrate how these strengthened relationships aren't just staying here, they are going out and they're making a difference in the world. So I loved getting to highlight the testimonies of those folks that went on that trip with you guys, and the fact that they'd all say, we felt like we went and made a difference, but the real difference happened in me. I mean, that single testimony
Amen.
was they were celebrating what God did in them on this trip where they went to go and serve other people. So that's just incredible. So I'm glad that God's put that particular. Debbie and I were talking this morning about how our heart really is for every church to find out where is your ends of the earth, where is your second country, where is your there that God is calling your church to go. He's put you where he wants you, but God has a way of putting that burden on our heart to go and reach people on the other side of the planet. And you guys are living that out, and it's just fun to point to you guys and see what God's doing. So thank you.
Man, you're welcome.
Yeah. So we are. You've been a part of Evangel Fellowship for how long? How long have you been with the fellowship?
Since '99. So what's that, like 30?
Yeah, 25 years.
Yeah, 25 years.
That's crazy. So you got to walk with Bishop Miles for a long time, and
Mm-hmm.
and watch the torch or the baton be handed off to Philip, and you've seen EFI through lots over 25 years. What is it about Evangel Fellowship that makes you proud to be a part of it?
I think one of the things is one of the words, and that's fellowship. And that's we get to connect with each other, with other churches. You know, I think about the conference coming up and how, you know, that's going to be awesome to get back and be in touch with people you don't get to see often, you know, because we're all doing our things that God has us to do. And so I think that's one of the things. And the things is the integrity in EFI. It's always been there, and it's carried on through the years. And just the family that's there, the love for each other, and you know, God is through that family. When we as a church went through some pretty rough stuff, that family was part of what helped us make it through. Helped me, for sure. I could, you know, call those guys and say, hey, you know, some of them had been through things, so they knew what to do, what to say. They knew how I felt, and so I think that's one of the awesome things is the love and the fellowship and the camaraderie and just being able to make lasting friendships. In that. And it's a platform like still for us to go to Nicaragua. It's just been that's what opened the door for us to go and continues to.
I think that your testimony is so valuable for me as I'm trying to understand the heart of Evangel Fellowship, to understand really what it's all about. And you're not the first, and I'm sure you won't be the last to say that it's just that. It's the fellowship. It's the relationships. It is knowing that you've got a brother in arms who has your back. Ministry can be the most lonely place. and especially the fact that it's not a 9 to 5. You don't get to turn it off when you go home.
Yeah.
It's a 24/7, and it's a God call, but it doesn't have to be a lonely call. And getting to know the executive board and the advisory board, one of the things that I am especially excited about is, a sit down that happened recently with a next generation of pastors. And what they're doing is they're amening, hey, this is what we want to maintain. This is what we want to keep. This essence of Evangel Fellowship, we want to hang on to this. And that was something that resonated with them as well. And so as we look to the future, I think it's how do we find more opportunities to resource pastors with support, encouragement, with knowing that anytime or day or night they've got a person that they can contact, and they never have to do ministry alone. So. And as well as I do, we've got an event coming up. We've got the Leverage 2024 conference, October 21st to the 23rd. It's going to be in the mountains, the Crest Conference Center. I don't know if you've ever been out there. I've only seen pictures, but I'm excited to be there in person. We're going to get some great teaching. We're going to eat together. We're going to work together. We're going to learn together. You've been to conferences in the past. I would be curious to know, your insights, and then also just why would you be excited about this year's conference as a pastor, but also as a leader of EFI?
I think one thing at first we were so used to going to Conway and all that, and then the last couple of years the board, we have our meeting up there, and I've been there tons of time when I was a kid. That's in the Baptist church. That's one of the places you went. And I also just that whole area, Black Mountain. I love the mountains, and Black Mountain is, and when I was 24 years old, I was in a meeting up there, and God healed me of asthma. Never had asthma since.
Wow.
And that was awesome to me. But just being going, and I'm excited about our focus on the teams and the building each other up, and that's what we do, and I think it's going to be great. We're going to all be staying there. We'll eat together. And a lot of times we don't do that. We all go our separate ways to eat lunch, or and I think that's going to be a great thing, and we're going to be able to even fellowship more. And I'm looking forward to making new friends of some that just have been in there, haven't been in the fellowship for long, maybe, and are just coming in. And I think I'm excited.
I think that is the reputation of this conference. This is a place for connection. It's a place for healing, and the fact that we're going to be set right in the middle of God's green earth of the beautiful mountains, I think it's only going to take it to another level. But if you're out there and you're listening to this conversation and you're looking for a little bit of rest for your soul, a little bit of connection, just of what. Maybe God wants to speak a fresh word into you. What better thing to do than to step outside of the frame of your life for a few days and come connect with other pastors who are in the trenches with you. Come get a God word. Come get something really, really good that you get to take with you in the next season. And I'm going to be there to document, Bill, but I am going to be experiencing this thing as much as I can through every lens that I hold in front of me, because I'm looking for something for me. And so for any pastors out there, don't miss this opportunity. October 23rd at the Ridgecrest Conference Center. Put it on your calendar and register. We'll put a link in the comments below. But Bill, thank you so much for your time. We're gonna schedule more time and talk about Matthews, and we're gonna talk about your church. And I think that you're probably sitting on a lot of wisdom, Bill, that we need to pass along to the people. So we're gonna schedule more time, and I'm gonna pick your brain about how we can help more pastors embrace the path of fellowship and not doing ministry alone, but also just be successful. And I'll say this in closing, because I feel like I'm hearing it in what you're saying too. Philip said something to me last week. He said, Matt, it's healthy pastor, healthy home, healthy church. And I think that's the heart of EFIs. We want to see pastors be healthy. We want their families to be healthy so that their churches can be healthy. And that this relationally connected for global impact isn't just lip service. We really want to see God's kingdom come. We really want to see more pastors, more ministry leaders on mission, being witnesses all over the world for Christ. So, Bill,
Amen.
thank you for your time. And I'm looking forward to the next conversation.
Amen. Thank you.
Cool. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll see you on the next meet and greet conversation. Take care.